In this video, we're going to give our grades for the Western Conference. In the previous video, we covered the East. Make sure you guys go ahead and check that one out. But let's start with the Golden State Warriors. Like, how did you grade the 2022 NBA champions?
A++. Plus. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But A+ for sure. They come on. They are the NBA champions. They earned that, and they should win. How else you gonna grade the champions? Like what? You gonna give them a B?
No, I actually gave them an A-. I gave them an A- because they were number 3 in the Western Conference. Okay. I think they lost a lot of games that they should have won, but they won that chip anyway. They're still cream of the crop, but I gave them an A-. They did develop a lot of their young players. You know,
they did.
But it wasn't a season of perfection. The overall season wasn't of perfection. Steph Curry couldn't find his shot.
It doesn't have to be. I think all is forgiven when you win the championship, in my opinion. What happened before? It didn't matter. I got the championship. We won the championship. It doesn't matter. Oh, what? Well, you didn't find your shot. Found it in the championship. I mean,
he did. Oh my God.
I mean, it don't even matter. Draymond Green missed he didn't show up in a couple of games. He was on the court. Don't matter. Got the chip. It just doesn't matter anymore. All that stuff is just noise at this point. It may have been valid at the time. It may come up later. Their journey to their 4th, championship win. Got the chip. It doesn't matter. A+.
Okay, all right, that's funny. Okay, so now the Los Angeles Clippers, your favorite team in the NBA.
No, now you're going extra. It's one of the teams I like to watch. Yes, the Clippers, the favorite team in the NBA. Stop. I don't have a favorite team. I like all teams, sometimes. So.
Yeah. Okay, let me hear your grade for the Clippers, who were number 9 in the Western Conference.
I gave them a C. I gave him a C. Disappointing season for me, but I do understand that Kawhi Leonard did not play again. If you don't have your star on the court, but then you did have Paul George that tried to carry it along, but again, he can't do it by himself, just like Kawhi can't do it by himself. I get it. No star can do it by themselves. I think we can all establish that's what it is. But I gave them a C. I just wanted more from them. I don't think that they should have dropped all the way down to the play-in tournament. What are we talking about when you guys were a solid 1 through 6 at some point during the season? So yeah, no, I gave them a C. They just didn't complete the season on how I wanted them to complete.
Okay. I just feel like this whole thing with Kawhi being out is starting to sound like a broken record.
Doesn't matter.
The Clippers were 42-40 on the season, played with Kawhi all season, PG in and out. But we were able to see Reggie Jackson get busy, though.
Yep.
I gave them a B+. I actually graded them higher than you, surprisingly.
I know. Yeah. You know what, though? I can see the B+ on the strength of Reggie Jackson, especially the way he skipped.
Yeah. Exactly, I know. Yeah. All right, so the Los Angeles Lakers.
Ian needs improvement. Again, I'm gonna say it in this video, like I said in the previous video when we covered the grades for the East. If you did not make the play-in tournament, you are going to get an N grade from me. Needs improvement. The league added the play-in tournament to give these teams another boost to make it to the playoffs, and you can't even do that with the GOAT on the roster. Done.
Is there a such thing as an F+? Because that's how I graded the Los Angeles Lakers, who were 33-49 on the season and who scapegoated my boy Russell Westbrook all season. You know what? They didn't even make the play-in tournament. The Lakers get an F+ from me. And I was a certified Laker fan. Let's not forget that.
And you may be one next season if Russ is still on the roster.
Yeah, but only if. Now, let's talk about the Phoenix Suns.
I gave them a B. But it was a lackluster B. You know what? Come on. Why would I not come into this season, 2022 season, with high hopes for the Suns? Why wouldn't I think they would run it back to the NBA Finals? Why wouldn't I think that? And it didn't happen. So, good season, lackluster postseason, overall B for me.
Ooh, okay. I graded the Phoenix Suns a C. So, just really disappointed they couldn't get by the Dallas Mavericks. That just shocked me. That ruined it for me. because like you, I expected them to redeem themselves and get back to the NBA finals. It's actually win it this year.
Yeah.
But they didn't. But they were number 1 in the Western Conference. And I said, oh, this is their season. 64-18 on the season. That's a great regular season. But the Suns turned into the Utah Jazz where they couldn't perform in the playoffs. I was not happy to see it.
They turned to the Utah Jazz.
I'm just saying. That's a key characteristic from the Utah Jazz.
Do better.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the Sacramento Kings, who did not make the play-in. So we already know how you graded them.
In. Oh my God.
Yeah, I gave the Kings an F, went 30-52 on the season, number 12 in the Western Conference. Clearly, they are rebuilding. They do have Keegan Murray, 2022 top draft pick, number 4. So next season, maybe they got Mike Brown now. So there's hopes. There's hopes for Sacramento Kings.
I want them to please. My expectations for the Sacramento Kings next season is to make it to the play-in tournament. That's it. Even if it's number 10. That's where I want y'all to end up. Now, if y'all can go past that, my expectations will be exceeded. But them Sacramento Kings.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the Denver Nuggets. Played without 2 of their 3 stars, went 48-34 on the season, finished 6th in the very highly competitive Western Conference. And Jokic, we trust. How did you grade them?
Jokic, I gave him a B. And Jokic, we trust. Leading in all statistical categories. Again. Like MVP. Again. And just what else we need from Jokic? What the Denver Nuggets need their roster, and they need the rest of their players to come and complete the games. Because at this point now, we're not being fair to Jokic. At this point. So Denver Nuggets, I rated them a B. Overall, their season was pretty good. But what you gonna do?
Yeah, I graded them a B-. But the Minnesota Timberwolves exceeded my expectations, gave them a C+, were number 7 in the Western Conference.
Wait a minute. How was a C+ exceeding expectations?
They exceeded my expectations because I didn't really see them doing much. I enjoy watching their core guys, right? D'Lo, Cat, Anthony Edwards. They face a top opponent in the Memphis Grizzlies. Couldn't get by the Grizzlies. You could not get by the Grizzlies. Very few teams got by the Memphis Grizzlies. So the Minnesota Timberwolves exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, they exceeded mine as well, but they exceeded mine to where I was able to give them a B+. I really enjoyed watching them play, watching their development, watching their progression during the season and then into the postseason. I think it was really great to watch. The only reason why they were not compromised. The only reason why they struggled is because they didn't know how to close out games. They figure out a way because they know how to get a lead. They don't know how to maintain it. They can figure that out for next season. They're gonna be that revenge matchup that we talked about in the previous video. Watch that one too. It's gonna be nice. So the Minnesota Timberwolves, Cat's development. Now that they've added Rudy Gobert to the rosters, now Cat can do something different. Do whatever else he want to do outside of the paint. Because he didn't want to ride in the paint. You got somebody's gonna be there. It's gonna be stationary there because that's what Rudy Gobert does. You're gonna have him there, which is great for Cat, to do what he needs to do. And then you got Anthony Edwards. Yeah. So I gave him a B. They were a joy to watch for me.
Okay.
B+.
All right. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, number 14th in the Western Conference, 24-58 on the season, played without SGA for most of the season. But I still think it was okay for them. Young, right? New young coach, young players. I gave them an F though, because they were horrible. 14th in the West.
Yeah.
Needs improvement. Okay. Let's move on to the Portland Trailblazers. Brand new coach in Chauncey Billups, played without Dame and his abdominal injury, picked up a lot of key pieces. How'd you grade them?
Needs
improvement.
If you don't make it to the play-in tournament, you get an N from me. Needs improvement. Clearly, you need improvement. I mean, all teams can improve in some aspects, right? But again, the play-in tournament was put in place for you to at least have that one last push. You can do 10 in. But I get it. Dame was out. I get it. Still in for me.
Yeah, but you know what was interesting? That the Blazers went on an 11-game losing streak to end the season. So that whole push for the play-in tournament, it was then when they were losing 11 games in a row.
Yep.
That's not impressive.
Not at all.
All right, now the Utah Jazz, 49-33 on the season, finished number 5 in the Western Conference. How'd you grade the Utah Jazz?
I gave them a B. I gave them a B. The Utah Jazz are a decent, well-run regular season team. Can we all agree on that? It's their postseason that is questionable. So yeah, I gave them a B overall.
Okay, I gave them a C minus. But you know, now they have a lot of new blood.
Yeah.
No more Rudy, but they have a new coach. Now I'm looking to see, okay, well, how can Donovan Mitchell take the team as the sole best player on the roster?
Yeah.
You know, so hopefully the tides change for the Utah Jazz, because it's got to be frustrating to have a great regular season, get to playoffs, and then flop. So let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks.
Dallas Mavericks, they got an A from me. Dallas Mavericks received an A from me. They waited all the way to the Western Conference Finals, especially since Luka's on the team. This is their first time, number one, getting, with Luka being on their roster, first time getting past round one. Number one, let's say that. And then to make it all the way to the Western Conference Finals, blown away. Now, Luka didn't do it by himself, because there were some times that Luka wasn't even able to play. Jalen Brunson held it down.
Spencer
Dinwiddie came in and, you know, helped out the team. So yeah. I gave them an A. They totally surprised me.
Right. I have an A minus for the Dallas Mavericks. Number 4 in the West, 52-30 on the season. Just a few games away from winning. I mean, like, from going to the NBA Finals.
No, I'm dead serious. Absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely. And what's so great about the Dallas Mavericks is that they figured out what their holes were and they fixed it for next season.
Yeah.
Ooh, the 2023 Dallas Mavs. I'm excited to watch. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Coach Stephen Silas and the Houston Rockets. How'd you grade them? I mean, 20-62, number 15, dead last in the Western Conference.
In.
I just love to hear you say it, like, in. End of story.
Needs improvement. End of story. Yeah, all of that. Yeah, no.
I know.
You know what? The Rockets
happy that they were able to get John Wall off of their books, because I mean, making $40 million sitting on the bench is ridiculous.
That's because they didn't want him to play, according to him.
Just saying, though. Yeah. But that's, you know, it was dead weight. And the Clippers, you know, they found a place, a home for him. I think it's going to be great for John Wall, but they needed to get John Wall off of their roster. I gave them an F. You can't be dead last in the Western Conference and I think you're going to get a higher grade. Now, however, those Memphis Grizzlies, what are we talking about?
I gave them a B+. I probably want to change that, though. I don't know. A minus. I think I'm gonna go A. I might have to. I'm changing it right now. Make a change on my paper. No, right now I'm gonna give them an A. The Memphis Grizzlies did that. They pushed the limits to the other teams to beat them. They were not an easy walk in the park. Not during the regular season, and most definitely not in the playoffs. And if a team wanted to beat them, they had to work for it. So yeah, no, with or without Ja Morant on the court.
Yeah.
With or without him. And I think that's why I changed my grade from a B to B+ to an A, because this team was able to still solidify solid wins without Ja Morant being on the court.
Yeah.
And for me, that means the roster was a solid roster. So yeah.
Yeah, remember that stretch of games they won when Ja was out during the regular season? That to me was impressive. Like, which other team can win that many games without their star dude?
Yeah, and then even in the playoffs, I think one game they won by 39 points. I think it's the Golden State Warriors, I believe. They won 39. Yeah, Golden State Warriors, they won 39 points. And that was one of the games that Ja Morant didn't play. Like, what? And there's no slight on Ja Morant. I know he's the dude for the Memphis Grizzlies. They need him to play. But when your roster is solid enough and you can still compete at a high level when your star is out for an injury, it says a lot for the team and the coach, Coach Taylor. So yeah.
Absolutely. I gave them an A minus, but I'm thinking now the Memphis Grizzlies got rid of Kyle Anderson and D'Anthony Melton, who came up big when Ja was out. I don't know how they're going to fill that gap next season, but I gave them an A minus. They would have gotten an A plus if they made it to the NBA Finals, though.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree. Mm-hmm.
Yes. The New Orleans Pelicans finished the season 36-46, number 8 in the Western Conference. Clearly a play-in team, but I like what I saw from Coach Green and CJ McCollum and Herbert Jones and Trey Murphy III. Unbelievable. I gave them a C plus.
I gave him a B. I really, really like the product they put out, especially at the end of the season and during the play-in. I said, oh, that team right there, if they had their full roster. Oh, and I think Brandon Ingram may have been slightly injured.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mistaken. He may have been compromised a bit. So yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. B all day. B. And that B came because they acquired CJ McCollum. Let me just be honest about that. No slight. I'm not taking nothing away from the efforts and the play making that and the skills that Brandon Ingram has. But when they were able to add CJ McCollum, considering that Zion Williamson wasn't there, I think it was a huge pickup for their roster.
Oh, absolutely. Now, lastly, San Antonio Spurs, number 10 in the West, 34-48 on the season, got rid of the main player that I would tune in to watch on the Spurs. Yeah. I gave them a D.
Oh, I gave them a C. Lackluster, average.
Ho-hum.
Yeah, I'm glad that DeJounte Murray had a chance to play for the Spurs. I think the Spurs is a great foundational team to play for. He's going to go on to the Hawks and do great things. So, yeah.